Yeah, we had a good test, lots of laps. You could do, the whole program, and I felt comfortable with the car. So I guess from that side, it is all very promising, but you never know in the weekend. I'm just excited to get started and see where we're at.
Yeah, I was very comfortable. I think we did a lot of progress during the testing. I don't believe that we are that far ahead. I'm sure the competition will be even closer than if anything. So I do expect quite a tight battle at the front. We're certainly looking good, but obviously there are a lot of teams that are looking good.
What are the personal goals for you heading into this first race weekend?
Just to maximize my opportunities, get a very strong base will be the target, and then go from there on.
Pretty good. Same as every year really. Everyone's really focused, it's always an exciting time of the year when you see everyone just coming together and everyone just getting on with their job. Everyone's really great motivation within the team, and we have a better platform to work off from this year. We still have some problems that we're having to work through, and it's not perfect, but it's definitely a better starting place from the past 2 years. So we are relatively happy in that respect. We're not where we want to be. We're not competing with these, the guys at the front, but we work towards it.
Maybe our, step between last year and this year is good enough or not good enough. We will find out as I said, in the first couple of races. But what I see in the team is a different approach than 2023, where we started with a good baseline, and it was a shock for us maybe how good it was at the beginning, and then we were not let's say a big team also off track, in terms of developing the car and things like that. We learned a lot of lessons last year. So in the way of becoming a contender for the championship in the future, I think it was an important season for Aston Martin, and I think this 2024 we start with a good baseline, yes, but with a lot of things in the pipeline for the rest of the season. So it will be interesting to see if we can, keep the pace of development of the car, comparing the top teams, which obviously we didn't met those expectations last year, and we want to improve in that regard.
We've learned a lot, and also if I compare to a year ago, the 3 days of testing we've had last year in Bahrain, I think we got out of these 3 days last year and we were not lost, but it was very difficult to pinpoint what was the main weaknesses of the car, because the car was so inconsistent that it was very difficult to take anything out of it. This year is a very different situation. We know exactly which are the areas that we need to work on for this year's car, and that is looking positive for the future, because we can already start from now. The factory is already focused since last week on points that we need to improve for the next few months, which is looking good for the future developments. Then we have to see where is our starting point, which for now it's difficult to understand where we are compared to Red Bull.
It's a question I think everyone's asking. I think we kind of have a rough idea of where we're at. We don't actually really know where we stand comparing to a few other teams. I think it's clear the top 2, then there's a bit of a bunch behind, which is Mercedes, Aston, us kind of thing. But in terms of just how the preseason test went, it was a lot better than last year, and we're in a much better position than last year, so that's the most important thing.
We're here in race 1, getting ready. Felt like the last race was yesterday, when we were in Abu Dhabi. So winters keep getting shorter, testing keeps getting shorter, and you're just constantly racing now almost, no? So feel like we haven't lost the rhythm. We had a good first test. By good test I mean good understanding of the car, and managed to get all the tests that we wanted to get out of the way, and now we feel ready and prepared for this race 1.
Yeah, I think we hit the ground in a good place, but ultimately there's only one thing that matters, and that's the lap times. And I think Lewis and I have put a huge amount of work into helping steer the team in the direction we want to go. And obviously with Lewis's experience, a lot of the cars being designed around his wishes, with the car being sat further rearwards than we were last year, and the Red Bull-esque side pods on the side and slightly different steering rack. So it's good that the team have sort of been listening to that, but we need to see if that translates into lap time.
Hopefully, definitely points. A podium will be difficult, I think. Red Bull look very quick. Ferrari look strong. Mercedes no one really knows, but I'm sure they'll be there. Aston Martin looked good as well, so it's going to be a pretty tight battle again. I think more or less how it was at the end of last season. It was kind of us, Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston, trying to fight for that second best team. Hopefully we can all start fighting to be the best team at some point this year. But yeah, I guess we'll find out where we really stand this weekend.
It's hard to tell. Everyone in testing's on different fuel loads, tires at different times, and here, the track changes a lot throughout the day. So a lot of unknowns, but we had a good, test. Tried a lot of things on the car, did a lot of laps, and yeah, ready to go racing now.
3 days go extremely fast, especially split it between two drivers. But 3 days are 3 days for ourselves and 3 days for all the other teams. So it's you gotta try to maximize the understanding for sure when you come with a new car concept. Starting from scratch, there is just so much to understand about it and identify what are the strengths and weaknesses of the package you got, and try to come up with quick solutions in only a couple of days, because it's only a few days between the test and the first race. So it's quite challenging for the team, but I think it's a great challenge, and we tried to do as much as we could since last week.
Obviously, what we focus is always, to improve what we have in hands, and what we have in hands, we've done so. We understood plenty of things, we've analyzed a lot of things, and we made progress. From the first day to the last day, and that was, always a positive test, always gonna be. Obviously, is where we start, from there, which is the question, and we are gonna find out pretty soon exactly where we are. But it is, a possibility, that we are not starting exactly where we want to be. And from there, what we have to do is focus on ourselves, just give the right feedback, to the team for me, stay focused. I believe the guys, are capable of, improving things during the year. And that's what we are going to be looking at, progressing.
I don't think the positions have changed so much. I don't think the order's going to be so different, but the grouping is tightened up massively. So there is not really a P10 team anymore. I think obviously Red Bull might have a little bit of an advantage, and there's still a top midfield section and a bottom midfield section. But that's kind of our hunting ground. I think depending on the circuit and what track suits us or not, we'll be on the either in the midfield or a little bit further back. But that's all to see. I don't think anyone really knows where we are right now. But yeah.
You're feeling rough, I would say comfortable. Obviously, not too high expectation I'm having, but so far what I felt in the testing was pretty good, and I didn't feel any huge limitation. We didn't have major issues, so hopefully we can fight for top midfield. That's what our aim. But obviously, realistically, if we are in the P7 around there as a team standings, that'll be a good start.
Yeah, we made steps forward, no doubt. We can see it from the data. I can feel that in the car. So I think to me it feels like the biggest progress we made so far over the winter on my years here. So that's good to see, and hopefully that definitely helps us to be in a better place than end of last year.
If I compare with last year testing and then also the end of last season, definitely we've made a step forward. Obviously, it is testing. You don't have real race situations, no cars around, no wheel-to-wheel racing in action where sometimes your tire temperature can get out of control. So still early days, to make bold calls and statements. But I'm optimistic and positive that we've definitely improved in the right direction. But what it's worth and where we stand at the end of the day, we'll see this weekend and next weekend and all the other weeks this year.
I'm very excited. It's been nice just to get a full pre-season, and it helps. It really does. I was just touching on no matter how experienced you are, to jump in at the start of the season with a full lot of testing as opposed to just a race in the middle of the season. As exciting as that is, I think preparation is so fundamental, and when everyone's operating at such a high level, you can't kind of cheat your way through it, if you know what I mean. So I'm really excited about that. I think we've learned a lot from testing. Of course, like all of us, we're probably still looking for more speed and more things to improve, but I would say a lot more understanding coming into practice tomorrow now.
the way how the car is performing and the way how you drive through the corners is completely different compared to what we been the last 2 years, because last 2 years quite similar in a way. And yeah, this year definitely felt a massive change in terms of just the whole concept, making the difference on the driver feedback and in a right or better way. So yeah, looking forward to the season ahead, and not just the way we started this year, also the way how we have planned for in terms of development program is being a lot more aggressive than previous years.
Feel good. It's exciting as always. First race, we all want to see where we stack up and how good of a job we've done over the winter to improve on things. I think we had a decent test. We all feel quite positive that the car is behaving better at least. But of course, at the end of the day, what we want to be is competitive and quick. So we'll see about that. But certainly a decent job so far.
I feel great. The off season was so needed. I feel the healthiest I've ever felt coming into this year, which is a very nice feeling. And yeah, I had no days in a car coming to Bahrain, and felt really sharp on that first day, and really no issues. So you're always going to keep building on that car fitness as you go through the first few races, but I think it was a really good start.